Every day, companies and advertisers pour millions of dollars into getting their products in front of your face. It's been like this for years, and it's only going to get worse as we go further into the digital age. From Black Friday to Prime Day to weird-ass Christmas and July sales, companies in search of ever-increasing profits have hijacked our brains, making us think that this new item, this next thing, will finally be the one that makes us happy. Shopping has become more than just something that we do on occasion. It's become an addiction. To put it simply, shopping makes us feel good, and whenever we experience sadness, doubt, or discontent, we crave a sense of control, and shopping puts that directly into our hands immediately. No grinding, no waiting to reap the benefits of your hard work. It gives you instant gratification right fucking now. Before we even click buy now, our brains begin pumping dopamine into our body, making us feel great. It's easy therapy. In a 2021 article from the Cleveland Clinic, clinical psychologist Scott B. states, whether you're adding items to your shopping cart online or visiting your favorite boutique for a few hours, you do get a psychological and emotional boost. He adds, even window shopping or online browsing can bring brain-fueled happiness. So how exactly do we beat this vicious dopamine cycle? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to talk to you about today. But first, if you're new around here, my name is Drew, and on this channel, I talk about minimalism, simple living, and financial freedom. If that sounds interesting to you, I'd appreciate if you'd like the video and consider subscribing. So let's dive into it. Put down your phone. While the technology advances in smartphones over the last 10 years have been incredible, it's impossible to understate the damage our devices and by extension social media pose to our spending habits. We are force-fed a healthy stream of advertising and joneses to keep up with every time we open Instagram or Facebook. And it's not just these particular sites either. If you go to YouTube or TikTok and type in your favorite store and add the word haul to it, you're gonna find hundreds, if not thousands of videos of people just shredding through packages, unboxing hundreds upon hundreds of dollars of merchandise, clothing, technology, whatever. And we glorify this relentless consumption like it's what we should be aiming for, while at the same time our savings rates as a society continue to dwindle smaller and smaller every single year. I think it can be beneficial to more than just your personal finances to spend time off of your phone and away from social media. I recommend unfollowing accounts that are blatantly marketing to you, massive corporations, or anything that doesn't align with your values. As you go about using social media in this more intentional way, consider whether this content or this account is adding value to your life or subtracting from it. Set ground rules. Have you ever bought something and felt like you shouldn't be making this purchase? To me, it feels like there's a bomb about to go off in my head, and then I try rationalizing, where I try to convince myself that I'll be okay if I just shift some things around in my budget. It's like trying to defuse that bomb. This is a pretty great indicator that you're about to make an impulse purchase, but honestly, sometimes we don't even feel regret or remorse about a purchase until 6 months to a year after. So what do you do when you don't have this sixth sense floating around in your head? Well, that's where ground rules come in. First, spend some time reflecting on your material possessions and what you want to spend on moving forward. Think about your values and how you can use money to enrich those values. If your money is the boat, your values are your lighthouse guiding that boat. If a purchase doesn't align with those values, don't make that purchase. In your phone or journal, create a wish list of items. Anytime you get the itch to purchase something, write that item down in your notes. I often find that when I do this, I'll just forget about it and remove it from my list next time I open it later. I think it's a really good idea to delay gratification. Spend some time thinking about a purchase before you actually make the purchase. Think about whether or not it's gonna put you into more debt, if the item and its use align with your values, or if you're not gonna make rent because you bought it. And if after a couple days or weeks of deliberating, you decide that you are gonna be comfortable making that purchase and it's not gonna put you in more debt, then feel free to make that purchase. It's okay to bring that thing into your life. But if you can't, then maybe just let it sit and not look at it for a while. Another good rule is to just avoid your trigger stores. If you know that a specific retailer is going to trigger you every time you walk in there to make a big gargantuan purchase, then maybe avoid going into that retailer unless absolutely necessary, or you're going in there for something specific. Don't go shopping when you're bored. My partner and I have this tendency. If we're bored, we'll go walk around a store or walk around downtown just to get out of the house. Instead of using shopping as a way to alleviate boredom, consider diving into a hobby or exercising or spending time with your friends and family. These are much better alternatives than going and spending a bunch of money that you don't have on things that you don't need. And also, you'll find these activities will soon become way more enriching to your life than shopping ever could be. Develop healthy coping mechanisms. As I explored earlier in this video, we often use shopping as a way to get an instant kick of dopamine to our brains. And as someone with depression and anxiety, I am no stranger to this. Buying something feels great, it's intoxicating, but it's also a double-edged sword that will bite you in the ass if you're not intentional about it. And I am speaking from experience here. This is exactly how I dug myself into $12,000 of credit card debt. We cannot let shopping continue to be a coping mechanism for the stress of daily life or mental illness. If you can afford it, I really recommend therapy, but I understand that it's just out of the budget for a lot of people. Instead, you may consider trying deep breathing, meditation, or I like listening to music, or you could just engage with something that you like to do, whether it's a sport or watching TV or playing video games. All of these are great alternatives to going out and whipping out the credit card. So I've been a minimalist for just short of 7 years, and I can confidently say that living a life with less has definitely had a positive impact despite my credit card debt. Because if I was not a minimalist, I can almost guarantee you that my financial situation would be way worse off than it is now. And I think living a life with less could be beneficial for you too. If you're someone who gets stressed out by clutter or finding a place to put everything that you're bringing into your new home, maybe it's time to consider getting rid of some stuff and living a simpler life. So these are just a couple habits that I've implemented in my life to combat impulse shopping. I understand that it's a lot easier said than done, so maybe consider taking this at a slower pace and implementing these one at a time. That way you don't overload yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will your habits. For further reading on building effective and lifelong habits, I highly recommend reading through Atomic Habits by James Clear. In this book, Clear focuses on helping you create systems and building small but effective habits. Anyway, I hope you got some value out of this video. Do you struggle with impulse shopping? I struggle with it, and it's something that I continue to deal with every single day of my life. I'm really keen to hear your experience with it down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day. Peace.